Right now, I'm in the process of really drastically downsizing all the things that I own. Can any one of you claim that you've sold everything that you have ever owned at least one time in your life? Today, I'm going to talk about steps you can take to detach yourself from material things so that you can concentrate on more important things as well as make some cash while you're at it. How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Liberating, transcending, and transforming. All these sort of describe the process of when you get rid of all your stuff. This is the feeling that you would get if you're not burdened with so many things. I remember several years ago, I used to buy things a lot more easily. And for some reason, really old game consoles, I still have those. So what tends to happen is everything that I acquire just sort of attaches to myself. And then you start to build up this Katamari ball thing. It gets bigger and bigger. If you asked me back then to shed something, maybe a really old game console, I might go, well, maybe I kind of like that thing. Just kind of relive the moment back then. But really what happens is maybe, okay, I might have brought it out once or twice within a 10, 15 year time span. This infrequent usage, I find out it's just not worth having that thing laying around. Because if you're keeping around one thing so you can use it for maybe an hour every 10 years, you're likely going to have hundreds of other things that you're likely want to use very, very infrequently over a really long period of time. So you're going to end up having a lot more things. If you were to ask me back then to get rid of that, I would have thought it's incomprehensible. I would just refuse, just outright refuse. I would say, no, I don't want to get rid of it. I want to keep it. It's still valuable to me. Why would I want to throw it away or sell it even? This is what I want to talk about today, because right now, maybe you're sitting at home and you think that, no, you cannot do this. This is what I thought too. I just could not understand. It's like trying to teach a monkey calculus. There's no way it's going to do it. So that's what I felt like back then. It's incomprehensible. Like, I can try to reason through it and I can get reasoning from whoever that can get rid of their old stuff, but I just did not understand back then. Years later, I've evolved into such a person where I finally understand. In fact, over the past few months, I specifically refuse to go on any kind of travel. I tend to think of this as kind of a delay in me getting rid of my stuff, me getting my life in order back at home. At home, this might look kind of minimalistic on the set because it needs to be if I'm in front of a whole bunch of stuff. It's just too much clutter for a video. But then in other rooms, there's a lot more stuff, but it's getting so much better. I'd say 70-80% better than when I first started. So I treat staying at home a much higher priority than me going out and playing, because I can go out to wherever new country, look at new stuff, eat new foods and stuff. And then when I come back, I'll still have the same mess. Me as a person, me as the ownership of all these things did not change from me going traveling. So this is more important in terms of self-improvement for me. Now, I just started selling everything I owned. Over here is about $450. So far, I think I've did it for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks or so, and I've sold much of the stuff, not stuff that I actually use. It's mostly things that have been sitting idle for a year or more. And the total has been about $1,400 or so, and I've got a long ways to go still. With every single item I sell, it's like, oh my gosh, why? It's like a piece of trash to me. I don't even want it. And then I might get $5, $8, $40 for it. And then when that transaction happens, it's like something gets erased from my life. One way or another, I brought on this item into my life. Maybe I purchased it. Maybe I got it as a gift. Maybe it was a hand-me-down. I got a lot of hand-me-downs because usually whenever someone goes, oh, I don't want this, I'm like, oh, me, I want to take it, because to me, it's like some sort of value. I might use it or something. And in fact, most of the time, these things are worth something. I'm able to get like $5, $10 or something. You might say, beat the bush. This is not worth your time. You really should be making more videos for us so that we can, gain more insight and, help other people's financial life. And then maybe I can make a lot more money on YouTube. This is something I must do. All these things, I would feel terrible just tossing these out or donating it. I feel like I need to at least reclaim something. It just feels like something I have to kind of slowly peel off like an onion out of, my history. Just kind of reduce myself because I brought it on, it's my responsibility to shed it. Now here's a method that works really, really well for me. This is kind of like that KonMari method thing, but for all the items that you have, you might have too much of it. Just group them all into the same category. For example, if you have a bunch of vacuum cleaners, I myself had 7 vacuum cleaners. I put them all together one time for a video, but eventually I kind of dispersed them. I put them in the most liked to the least liked, and then I pick on the very least liked item, and then I sell that. Generally, you are not as attached to that, and you're more readily be able to let go of that. So start with that. Don't think about selling the best one that you like or the second best. Sell the least liked one. Once you start doing this, once you shed that one, you're gonna go, you know what? It actually feels kind of good because you got the cash. The cash, you can take this to do whatever we want because it's liquid already. And this has a positive reinforcement. It'll help you sell other items as well. In the very beginning, I just looked around the house and picked at things that I really did not like. I started selling those. And after I sold those, I'm like, you know, this is not so bad. This actually feels great. And I was able to kind of shed away the next layer and then the next layer. I used to have a huge collection of Legos. I sold the least liked stuff, and just like what I said, I sold it one layer at a time. I thought I was gonna keep the best ones. I still have 2 very good ones, but then I intend to sell those as well. Let me talk a little bit about duplicate items. I have 2 paper shredders. Why do I have 2? One paper shredder is for paper. The other paper shredder is for credit cards and CDs. I thought this makes perfect sense, right? Because then I would have all the paper in one and then all the plastic in another bin so that they won't get mixed up and I can recycle them readily. At the same time, now I realize this might be a little bit ridiculous because I actually do not shred plastic all that often. So in turn, I am able to sell the paper shredder, and in fact, I'm going to sell it this afternoon. Now about $400 over here, there's another $1,000 that looks similar to this. It was all in cash. I did it all through Facebook Marketplace, and most of the stuff was just junk laying around in my garage. It turns out that's about 25% of the stuff that I actually bought. So all these things, I never intended to buy them in the first place. I would say it's harder if you actually go and buy a said item. For example, this steak thing, I actually took $20 out of my wallet and bought this. So for things that I intentionally bought, I probably will delay them later. I might eventually get rid of this stuff. You guys let me know. Should I get rid of all these stuffed animals? I mean, I think the first to go might be the peas. Maybe I'll set up a eBay account and you guys can bid on it. Maybe you want my old peas or something. You guys also said that that mic was annoying. Well, turns out that mic has a lot of backup equipment to support it. It also needs like a mic stand and also like a mixer. And then I also had a pair of headphones that went with it. All these things is actually not right here already. Let me show you. See, it used to go right here and there used to be a mixer right on my sofa right here. Anyhow, I'm considering getting rid of all of those as well. So all of this is very liberating. I never thought I would be such a person. Even when I started getting rid of my things in the beginning, I always thought, no, you know what? I'm gonna at least keep this and this and this. Let me just say, if you go down this path, start lightly. It gets a little bit addicting. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give me a like, push that subscribe button, and ring that bell icon.